All right, welcome back to Chasing Winners College Football Edition. It is week 7. This is going by way too fast for some, way too slow for others. My name is Kyle Masloni here with JP Lyon. As always, my background's boring this week since I'm moving. JP's background's exciting since he's in a hotel room. But JP, we'll talk about it more later. But I went through some absolute devastation last week.
You did. I don't think either of us had a very good weekend for any of our football teams. I was not in attendance for mine, so that was, I guess, better. And we didn't have terrible records, at least. Last week you went 7-7-1,
Just call me
two
Jeff.
and 2-4 on your best bets, or I'm sorry, on the podcast picks, but you did win your best bet. I went 9-6, made up a game and a half again, 2 weeks in a row of making up multiple games. And then 3-3 on podcast picks and lost my best bet. Podcast parlay hit for the first time since week 1. So we're only down 1.3 units on that, so that's exciting. Yeah, I am back over 500 on my overall picks for the first time since also week 0.
And you are scraping back. This is starting to get scary. I need to put a week together this week. I mean, not only was I there in person to see both of my teams lose, one in dramatic fashion, one in an absolute blowout, but I also lost to you. So something needs to change here. The losing needs to stop. I think it stops this week.
I mean, I hope. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see who picks what there.
Yeah. All right. So diving into the games, no noon games in the top 6 this week. So we're going right to 3:30 on ABC. This is the college game day game. This is what everybody's calling the game of the week, potentially the game of the season out west. Number 8 Oregon on the road going to Seattle to play number 7 Washington. Washington are 3-point favorites. JP, you're out west right now, so I'm going to start with you. How are you feeling about this game?
I am. Being out west has kind of desensitized me from my normal routine, which is just pay attention to football all week, all the time. But getting back into it for the podcast, I'm very excited for this game still. It's it probably decides at least one of the spots in Pac-12 title game. Could decide both because they could make it, I guess. But I don't know. This is really hard. It's really difficult to pick this game because both teams have been so good. To me, Oregon has been more consistently dominant, and Washington has had games where they let teams creep back in, only win by 7 some games, one game. But I just have to take Oregon +3 here, giving me 3 points with a team that I think has the better defense, and total 67.5. I don't know if I can take anything on the total, but I have to take a side. Oregon +3. Give me the points.
God, yeah, that total is aggressive, especially when you do look at a team that has a solid defense in Oregon. I mean, did they let up 30 against Texas Tech? Yeah. But besides that, they haven't let up more than 10 all season yet. I mean, they haven't been playing the best teams in the world, Portland State, Hawaii, Colorado, and Stanford. But yeah, the defense has been super impressive all year. Washington has let teams creep back in, but I mean also if you look at the numbers they put up, their offense is a wagon. So that would explain this really high point total. We got 2 quarterbacks that are potentially in the Heisman race. well, not potentially. They're probably number 2 and number 3 in Bo Nix and Michael Penix. So this should be a lot of fun. I think this is the biggest game of the year out west. I think it will decide one of the spots in the Pac-12 championship game, as you said. Um, I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I've said it all year so far that Washington was the best team in the country. So I'm going to stick by that opinion and go Washington -3 here.
Tough
It's
laying 3 points there.
it honestly is tough laying 3 points. I mean, I feel like we could end up with a push here. It's I just have to back the opinion that I've been saying all year. I've actually come on this podcast all year and have said but almost every week potentially that Washington is the best team in college football. So I'm gonna stick by that. I could see them winning by 3 very easily, which would really irritate me. But
Oh yeah. What you just hope that it's not like you saying that North Carolina State's the best team in the ACC. Hopefully, it's not like that kind of prediction.
well, yeah, because that was just ended up being the worst prediction ever. I think we're already better than that prediction by the fact that we're 5 games in before they blew it.
True.
And if we win this, that prediction's riding to the end. Well, not riding to the end because they have a tough schedule. I mean, that conference is a gauntlet this year. Their last 4 games, sorry, I'm just staying on the Washington topic here, but at USC versus Utah, at Oregon State, and versus Washington State. That's their last 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
This conference is like peak SEC levels, and it's not going to be a thing next year anymore.
It's a good thing we're getting rid of it.
Yeah, good thing we're getting rid of the best conference in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous, but I said at the beginning of the year in the first podcast, enjoy the Pac-12 while it lasts this year, and they've definitely given us a product to enjoy, which is great.
For sure.
Moving on here, 3:30 on CBS. Texas A&M on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee are 3-point favorites.
Yep.
Let me double check. That's the line we're going with. Yep, that was the line on ESPN. I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right here. Tennessee 3-point favorites. This one, I mean, it's going to be interesting because I don't think Tennessee are that good. I think Texas A&M are very good. So you probably see where my prediction's going here, JP. What do you think?
Yeah, clearly you're going to Tennessee -3 as
because you just do what doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I don't think Tennessee's that good. I think A&M is better. So, I mean, if they're 3 points at home, sure, it's a pick them on a neutral field. But 70% A&M here bothers me. But I think this is a great spot for my new picking mechanism, where I am 2-0 on call out games. And so Brian Kelly, not a fraud until he loses another game. Nick Saban, not a fraud. I would like to call out Jimbo Fisher for this game. I'd like to say if he loses this game with the clearly better team, then he's a fraud. I don't think A&M has. I don't think Tennessee has the offense to deal with A&M's defense. And if Jimbo finds a way to lose this game, especially on a bounce back spot after Alabama, then kind of start calling into question maybe he's a fraud. So who are we going to call out this week? It's Jimbo Fisher going for 3 in a row, A&M +3.
I mean, yeah, if he loses this game, those rich A&M alumni may find a way somehow, some mysterious donor could come in and get them to that buyout point because they're fed up over there. I mean, I know the losses have been to Alabama. I think they're more fed up about the loss to Miami, and that cracks me up. But
Makes sense. Miami stinks.
oh yeah, just absolutely stink. But yeah, I mean, I'm going Texas A&M plus 3 here. I think they bounce back strong. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't think Tennessee's that good. I think Texas A&M is pretty good. It's that simple to me, even on the road. Moving on here, 7:30 on NBC. Is that the next game on our order? I think it is. Set 7:30 on NBC and Peacock. If you want to watch on Peacock, it's listed on the cock too. So we got number 10 USC on the road against number 21 Notre Dame, coming off that kind of hilarious loss to Louisville last week. But they're still favored in this game. They're 2.5-point favorites. JP, I mean, you want to talk about a bounce back spot. What do you think here?
This is a hell of a bounce back spot for any team, much less Notre Dame. After the only game that we picked differently last week, Mr. Notre Dame -6 over there. Louisville +6 over here looks pretty good to me. But we don't want to look back. We want to look forward. We're not going to be Packers fans over here. So in this game, obviously bounce back spot for Notre Dame. USC is coming off of an insane triple overtime game that I fell asleep watching again. But it sure felt like they exerted a lot of effort to beat Arizona by 2. To me, it felt like that was not very easy for them. And coming in against the Notre Dame team that is going to be doing the opposite of sleepwalking, I think not only is it bounce back spot for Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, after a couple games in a row where the offense wasn't up to snuff, Sam Hartman might throw for 600 yards on this defense. It could happen. So in this situation, I think Caleb Williams is going to be good, but I'm taking Notre Dame -2.5. I mean, I would say obviously if Notre Dame hadn't lost last week, it's probably not. It's not. This line would be more of a like, who is this or what is this line? But 54% Notre Dame, man. There's not much you can say except Notre Dame -2.5.
Yeah, I mean, this USC defense, another thing we've been talking about all year whenever we talk USC, they suck, man. 28 points against San Jose State to start the season, 28 against Arizona State, 40, but these are the two terrifying ones now. They completely let Colorado back into that game and let up 41 points, and then went to triple overtime with Arizona, letting up 41 in the process. Sam Hartman and Notre Dame may put up 60 on them, 60 plus. I don't think that's as it's fucking crazy to say out loud, but I don't think that's that crazy of an opinion, which is, I was going to say the word crazy again, but I stopped myself. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be 60. It's going to be more like 45, but I think
41 exactly again.
They also have the defense. They also have the defense to contain Caleb Williams a bit. USC is still going to put up 30, 35 points. It's just a part of what they do. They're going to put up points on anybody. But their defense can't stop Arizona. How are they going to stop Sam Hartman, Notre Dame? It completely pains me to say it with a family member that my mother went to USC. I grew up hating Notre Dame. I still hate Notre Dame, but Notre Dame minus 2.5 is the pick here.
Always the pick.
We'll see if I'm wrong about Notre Dame again. That would make me so happy. Even though I'm going to be betting on them, so I shouldn't be happy about a loss. But it's hedging your happiness, right?
Yep. Speaking of hedging your happiness.
Speaking of hedging my happiness is right, because now we're talking about 7:30 on ABC. Number 25 Miami coming off of perhaps the most boneheaded yet heartbreaking because he was actually down. No, nobody's admitting that, but he was. Look at the pictures.
I thought he was.
Still shouldn't have mattered. We still should have need the ball anyways. If we need the ball, it doesn't matter if he's down or not. And after that, we have to go on the road to number 12 North Carolina. North Carolina are only 3.5 point favorites. God, this is the spot I've been waiting for all season, but now it's in a completely different direction. At the start of the season and throughout the season so far, it's been all right. We're beating everybody. We crushed A&M. We beat everybody we should have. And this is the test of how good we really are. Now, it's the test of the coaching staff. It's the test of how the locker room believes in the coaching staff, because it's either this team could lay down and die, or this team could get up and play like a bat out of hell. Miami teams of old, the Miami teams under Manny Diaz, even under Mark Richt, after after 2 losses that spiraled. Al Golden, all of them. It's a similar, familiar pattern. You lose a heartbreaking game. Sometimes it's a game you should lose. Sometimes it's a game against like Jameis Winston's Florida State that's very close somehow. We lose it. We spiral. Other games against Florida State, the block party where they block the extra point to win the game, and then that spiraled into a 4-game losing streak. There's another one I'm thinking of, the Pitt loss on Black Friday, which then spiraled into a 4-game losing streak that carried into the next season. So there's a pattern here with heartbreaking losses at Miami. This is the test of, you said it earlier. I'm not ready to call Mario Cristobal a fraud yet if we lose this game, but this is the test on it. I guess what I'm saying is this is a test of if he's truly a fraud. I'm trying to avoid saying that word, but I might be there, because this is this the Miami of old? I'm saying old as in like 2010s Miami, not 80s Miami. Or is this more like 80s Miami where they would suffer a bad loss, not a bad loss, they never really lost much, but any loss was devastating at that point. And then they would bounce back and just kill everybody for the rest of the season. And sorry, I know I'm going long here, but if you look at the schedule, we have the chance to do the funniest thing ever. So right now, North Carolina, Florida State, and Louisville are all tied at the top of the conference, all with 0 conference losses, and none of them play each other. They're all on Miami's schedule. So if we were to find a way to run the table, and those teams all also run the table besides when they play us, we could have a 4-way tie at the top of the ACC and have absolute chaos. And now for my pick, and Taylor Swift is hugging somebody. Travis Kelce must have did something great, and now for my actual pick for the game, I don't think this is the Miami team of old. I think we show some fight today. Or Saturday. I think, God damn it, I think we win this game. I can't believe it. I've talked myself into it. I think we win this game. Ah, they even got their star wide receiver back. Tez Walker's back. I still think we win this game.
You're gonna find a
Miami
way to cover
plus
him.
3.5. Hey, the whole universe is on North Carolina, or at least 70 whatever percent of the universe.
71%.
71%. Let's kill them. Let's take their money. Miami plus 3.5.
And yes, Kelsey had a 20-yard completion when right before you said Taylor Swift was hugging somebody. Yeah, so Kyle is officially going on record saying that he thinks this is the Miami of old, not the Miami of old. I'd like that entered into the record books. It will be tweeted out on Friday. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take up any time like Kyle did. It's a bounce back spot for Miami. TVD has to be good because this is the competition that he needs to play well against. 20 points against Georgia Tech or 17 points against Georgia Tech, whatever it was. Not ideal.
I didn't even mention how awful he played. He threw 3 interceptions in that game. You want to talk about a bounce back spot? He played the absolute worst game of his life on Saturday, and we still almost won.
Speaking of bounce backs, how about the bounce back for former Giant Kadarius Toney with the touchdown there?
Before I was telling my Chiefs friend how bad he was.
Yeah. So all that to say, I'm also on Miami plus 3.5 with 71% of the country and Kyle. Mostly just because of the bounce back spot. Obviously, I don't believe in Miami. No offense.
If we win, we'll likely be talking about us next week again. So you'll.
I have a feeling that we'll probably talk about Miami every week.
No matter what.
Yeah. But yeah, we're both on Miami plus 3.5 here. Not much else we can say about it, honestly.
I've already went into deep detail. By the way, Chaney did not fumble the ball. He was down on the record. But
yeah, I know.
But we should have need the ball anyways. Obviously.
Or not giving up a 50-yard touchdown with 8 seconds left.
Well, yes. There's that too.
There was no safety on that side of the field. I feel like there could have been one there.
Yeah, letting them go over the top, not once but twice while you're playing prevent defense. Not great, Bob. I was there. I witnessed it with my own eyes. I was there till the end of the game. Tragic occurrence. Hopefully I never have to witness that again. But it happened to Mario Cristobal at Oregon. Same exact thing against Stanford. So he has a pattern of doing this. So
not the same exact because this was way worse.
Yes.
Somehow it's going to get worse. His next one will be worse. I don't know how it could be worse, but
a blocked extra point return for a touchdown. Oh no, that's not worse.
No, it would be like he has the ball at the Georgia Tech 5 with 2 seconds left, and they run a play and it gets fumbled, returned for a touchdown.
Oh no. No. Just make that like UVA while you're at it. Somebody that's
sure, yeah. No,
Worse
Georgia Tech again.
Oh shit. Georgia Tech is kind of a problem. Well, not a problem team. We end up beating them every year, but we always struggle with them. But I don't get it. enough Miami talk now. We're probably gonna get back there eventually. Not really, but not tonight at least. On to 7:30 SEC Network. A lot of good 7:30 games this week. I hope you have multiple screens going. Missouri coming off of the loss to LSU, going on the road facing number 24 Kentucky. I should keep these lines up, shouldn't I? Kentucky are 2-point favorites at home. JP, what are you thinking? This is an interesting game. 2 points, obviously. No, what is this line for me? But it's close.
Who's the ranked team again?
Kentucky.
Okay, so I have a pick down, and I might have to change it, which I haven't done on any of these picks yet this year. I only changed my best bet, but I might have to stop doing that because it stopped working.
You do that every week.
Yeah, well, it worked once, and then it hasn't worked since. I was gonna take Kentucky because great bounce back spot, but their coach is a whiny little crybaby.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was absurd.
And now I can't take Kentucky because you can't bounce back from your coach being a whiny little crybaby. So I'm going to take Missouri +2. That's the only analysis I have for this game. I hope Missouri's quarterback stops throwing interceptions. As we talked about before and during the game last week, great padlock stat from Pate there. Incredible jinx.
Loved it.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take Missouri +2. I mean, kind of a bounce back spot for both teams, but Missouri's probably still the better team, even though they're not ranked anymore. Just turn up the offense and don't let the running back run for Adrian Peterson levels of yards and touchdowns. So do that and you probably win.
So, yes, Kentucky's coach is a crybaby. Why doesn't his fans buy more talent for him?
They should.
You know, they should. They should go out and instead of spending money on basketball, they should spend money on football and get Stoops the talent he needs.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, because he's asking them to do it. So, but in all seriousness, I believe in the Kentucky bounce back spot more than I believe in the Missouri bounce back spot. They've been more reliable. They've been a reliable team under Stoops. I mean, consistently solid to the point to where I think it's Josh Pate calls it the best job in college football because you have to go like 8-4, 9-3 every year, and you could be a top 10 paid coach and have all the job security in the world. And I think this is one of the games they win on the road to being 9-3 or 8-4 again. So I'm taking Kentucky -2 here. Not great analysis.
From both sides. We gave you all the reasons to take either side.
Yeah, phenomenal analysis for that game. Up next, so finally, a game that's not at 7:30, but a game that's at 8 o'clock. So another screen you'll need up at that time. We got 8 o'clock Fox, another ranked versus ranked matchup this week. Number 18 UCLA going on the road to number 15 Oregon State. Oregon State are -3 or 3.5 point favorites. JP, once again, you're out west. You're not quite in DJ Uiagalelei. I'm not used to pronouncing his name anymore. Again, I used to have it down when he played in the ACC.
No, that was almost it. I feel like I know it starts with Uwe.
Country, but you're not in DJ country You're in UCLA country, kind of. Not really, but are you? You're in
A little
LA.
south of there.
Okay.
Yeah, Orange County area.
Oh, so you're in the OC. You're kind of in both of their country. My mom grew up in the OC. She's like everybody either has a USC or a UCLA flag, and it's interesting out there. They act like they care, but then they don't show up to the games.
Yeah.
Um, classic LA.
hmm
So what are you thinking about this game?
So I think each of their last couple games are interesting. Um, Last week UCLA beat Wazoo 25-17. Um, I got the game right. Um, there was some nervous moments when Dante Moore threw that pick six. I was a little unhappy about the goal line pick six directly to the defensive lineman. With 10 seconds left in the half. Oregon State gave up 40 points to Cal last week.
Yes. We
Can
we
you tell
talked
me how that happened?
we talked about this earlier. Cal are just wagons against good teams. Like they don't like uh they put up 32 on Washington. They put up 40 on Oregon State, but then put up like 24 on Arizona State, 30 they put up more points against the good teams. It makes no besides Auburn, but Auburn's not very good either. And this makes no sense.
Yeah. I don't I don't think UCLA can put up 40 on Cal, on Oregon State, which saying that UCLA can't outscore Cal is a problem. Um, but I'm gonna take Oregon State minus 3.5. Um, I guess it's a bounce back week for their defense. Um, the total on this game is 54. Under. I don't hate the under, not gonna lie. But yeah, Oregon State minus 3.5. I don't have a ton of analysis here. I spent too much time in the Pacific time zone. Now I'm tired all the time. Um, but yeah, we're gonna take Oregon State minus 3.5.
So UCLA may not score a lot, but their defense is actually pretty exceptional. I'm looking through the stats right now. So they're tied for eighth in the country in points against. Have let up an average of 12.2 points. Now, not necessarily against tip top competition, obviously, but not bad competition either. 13 against Coastal Carolina, 10 against San Diego State, let up 14 against Utah in a loss. There's your problem right there. when you let up 14 in a loss, that's quite the issue. But then bounce back against Washington State, let up 17 in a win. So just oh man, this is the game to where I was like, I have 5 of 6 picks down, and I'm not sure on one of them. This is the one I'm not 100% sure on,
Same.
but yeah, but I'm gonna go Oregon State it, minus 3.5 and hold my nose. It may end up being a low scoring game, but I don't think UCLA could put up many points. So Oregon State minus 3.5.
If I hadn't switched to Missouri, we would have had 5 out of 6 the same again, 2 weeks in a row.
Well, you switched to Missouri, didn't you?
I did.
We'll see if that works out for you.
It never does.
Speaking of switching your picks constantly, it is time to see if you've switched your best bet pick this week.
Well, I didn't tell you my first one, so you would have no idea if I switched.
Yes.
Um, I wanted to take your pick, But I didn't need. I don't feel like I need to, because I don't want to bring that on them. I don't want to bring my bad juju onto that team right now. So I'm going to take TCU minus 5.5 against BYU at home, coming back after getting blown out by Iowa State. So yeah, I'll take that team. Sure, you just lost by 20 in Ames. So you come back to Fort Worth against a team that beat Arkansas, and you say, "Yeah, we'll cover 5.5." Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, give me TCU.
What the hell is that line?
Huh? See? Now we take TCU. This is how we do it.
The funny thing is, I was kind of looking at TCU too, like because
And did you even know they'd lost like that?
yes,
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like BYU's shown themselves to be a pretty solid football team this year, and TCU just lost by 20 in Ames.
We could have lost, or we could have gone the parlay with our two teams on for the best bets. It would have been just as good of a pick.
Damn it. Yeah, so my best bet, he mentioned not wanting to jinx a certain team in a certain situation. It is a certain month of the year. It is Cocktober. And Flor and Florida is not capable of playing on the road whatsoever. They haven't been under Billy Napier at all. It's actually really hilarious to see. They're great at home, god awful on the road. And South Carolina are 2.5 point favorites against that Florida team that can't play for shit on the road. I'm taking the Cox. The Cox minus 2.5 is my best bet. I know it's a public pick. You warned me of this, but I'm gonna ride with it.
Yeah, our public podcast picks for this week were the exact opposite of last week because the highest is 71. Except for the Cox. Cox are 89. 89% of the public is fully bought in on Cocktober.
Oh, great.
Little concerning, but it might be stronger than Vegas.
And now for the podcast parlay. Like you said, we probably should have just gone with our two best bet picks and hope for the best, but we didn't. I'm throwing JMU money line in there against Georgia Southern to continue their incredible run here. It would be quite funny if they ended up being the top G5 team. I'm kind of rooting for it. Can't they still not make a bowl game? Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Don't know.
I kind of want to look that up. I will after the fact, but yeah, JMU's my podcast parlay pick.
I am taking the likely Riley Leonard-less Duke Blue Devils. And I suppose it's obviously if they had him, it'd be much better pick. But NC State's not very good. Some might say they're not the best team in the ACC. Two years in a row now, we would say that.
I would absolutely say that this year.
I
had a different opinion last year for a few weeks. That's what this joke's about.
We know our listeners, they remember. They're in our inside jokes for sure. But yeah, we're taking Duke at home, money line. So when you pull Cincy East Carolina's on my TV up there, took a shot there. So JMU Duke money lines parlay is plus 141. Don't go bet it because we won last week, so we're gonna lose the next 4.
Don't say that. Have faith.
What? I don't have faith in college football. I don't have faith in any football this year. My teams stink. We can't win. We have a combined 3 wins. We've played 12 games.
Oh my God. Oh
3 and
no.
9 are my 2 teams. One of them was Long Island.
And one of your wins just like abolished a big money line parlay I put together that back against UCF.
Not good. Gave us hope. Went in. Got trounced in the butt bowl. Don't want to lose the butt bowl by 25 at home. Not good.
That's terrifying. At least you didn't fumble. At least you didn't fumble with the game won with 30 seconds left.
True. Yeah.
It could be worse.
I could not believe that between you, me, and Ryan, our 3 college football teams all lost. Our pro teams all lost, and his baseball team lost 2 games. Mine at least one on Sunday. And now they're both eliminated. So, oh well.
Well, my quote unquote baseball team didn't even make the playoffs. So
yeah, they stink.
Yeah.
If they had made the playoffs, they would have beat us. So I guess that's helpful.
Well, I would have won something, right? Hey, I mean, my team's 5-1 this year. I can't really complain so far, but last week was a traumatic experience to see in public. I don't think I was talking for a good like 10 minutes. And then I had to hear about it all week in the office. Like I got back from Miami and just had to hear about it all week. I'm ready to beat North Carolina this week. Let's move on and enjoy the games this week. Like, share, subscribe, do the whole thing. Where's the button? Is it over there?
Well, last time I put it the wrong direction. So
okay. I'm just gonna
it's probably this way. No. It's probably this. It's on the bottom right of your screen. There. For sure. Kyle's throwing up the X right now.
Somewhere maybe in the middle of that X, who knows?
Sure.
That definitely it. So yeah, like do all that and enjoy the games this week. Go Canes.
Yeah.